Hello there and welcome to this unboxing video for Comic Block for January 2016. This is the regular Nerd Block family box which sends out a selection of comics each month. I think this is one of the last boxes in its traditional format, which is quite a small box, cheaper than the others, because they've certainly talked about rebranding. Anyway, let's take a look inside. There were some spoilers, but I can't remember exactly what they were. And we'll start off with a t-shirt. These are always one of the highlights of Comic Block, so let's unwrap that. Something Jim, probably very obvious to everyone looking at it. It's a mutant, so presumably X-Men, perhaps. Yes, Xavier's Jim, so there we go, and yeah, clearly you can see Professor Xavier there, 1963, so that's quite a nice design. Just put that one out of the way. It's the first item in Comic Block. And now, onto the comics. We go straight onto X-Men. Uncanny X-Men. Very positive thing. It's got a proper bag, which you can open there, and a bit of cardboard at the back. And that slides out really easily. So this is number one. Presumably this is the new numbering. I've never followed the X-Men series particularly closely, although it's been very popular. And yeah, Uncanny X-Men clearly, and here's a look at some of the artwork. I'll save that for later on. Looks quite promising there. May or may not be an exclusive cover. Doesn't make it obvious on the front. We'll find out when we go to the summary card. And next, Silver Surfer. And certainly this looks like a nostalgic styled cover. So Silver Surfer, one of those heroes I remember very well from my youth. I've not really followed that series. Whether it's a continuing series or a new one with the numbering, I don't know at this point. Various other identifiable heroes and items forming part of that nostalgic style cover. I say nostalgic, it might just be designed to be simplistic looking artwork. And maybe that really is the case, but harks back to a simpler time to me. Again, it looks like an interesting story there. Lots of adverts for Agent Carter. I've not seen that show yet. So many superhero style shows on TV right now. So there we have Silver Surfer number one. Well bagged again. So that's two interesting comics so far, and this presumably is the final one. It's Red Sonja. Again, something I've heard of but don't know too well. Dynamite, Comic Block logo. So presumably this one must be an exclusive. Unfortunately, this one has this horrible style of packaging where you have to rip it out and then lose the bag in the process. So I'm not going to try and open that there. And an advert at the back with a promo code for Jinx clothing, which I'm very unlikely to use. So there you go. And final item is this print, which it looks familiar, but maybe is this one identical to the one that was in one of the other boxes? Maybe it's a slightly different version there. Who knows? Is that presumably right. So I'm just reading the information card in the background. This is Carnage, and the previous one was Venom, so it's a very similar style, but not the same print. Alright, let's look at the information card. I've got it in my hand. So January issue number 9. That's how long Comic Block has been going. The main item there is the X-Men comic, Uncanny X-Men. Interestingly enough, no logo on the version on the card. Then we've got Silver Surfer number 1 there. So there's Silver Surfer number 1. Red Sonja number 1, which is the exclusive variant cover, which we've got there. The Lee Howard Carnage print. I think Lee Howard is one of the artists who does a lot of work for Nerd Block and the group. And then finally the Xavier's Gym for Gifted Youngsters t-shirt. So pretty decent design. Alright, so overall, summing up for this one, two comics that I'm particularly interested in. They're the Marvel ones and an exclusive cover. Print slightly disappointing. Decent t-shirt. There will be a full review, of course, on geeksubscriptionbox.com. Possibly a little bit weak overall in terms of the type of comics being included. But let's see what Comic Block has to offer in future months. I'll keep dipping in and out every few months. Maybe look if they do have a big box coming up to try and take a look at that and unbox and review that. Thanks for joining me, and see more at geeksubscriptionbox.com.